Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well and blessed. And today I want to follow up on a video that I did when I just shortly after I first started my channel, way back in March 31st. I did a video called, could I retire in France? And today, after 2 months of the video being out there and consistent watching and growing, I'm a small channel, so it's received over 1,000 views and I've gotten over 30 comments back and forth. I felt like today would be appropriate to go back and revisit it, especially since I just posted a video called Should I Stay or Should I Go? And one of the areas I focused on outside of Southeast Asia and Latin America was Eastern Europe, but obviously we're open to all places, and one of them would have been France. And so I got a lot of comments, and I did an analysis of the comments, and I thought maybe I'd go back and revisit and just talk about it for a little bit. And because the people living there have given me some great feedback, good and bad. And so, here at the channel, we just like to be real. And so I thought I would just, use the homework of these great followers and just share a little bit of what I found. And I also posted in the community a survey, should I stay or should I go? And overwhelmingly right now, for those of my viewers in America, they're like, no, we're staying in the US. So not so adventurous, I guess. But it's kind of a beautiful overcast morning here. Good morning, everybody. If this is your first time visiting my channel, I'm Bryant, over 60 guy. And, I just talk about things that I think are maybe on the minds of those who are approaching 60. Most of my audience is 45 up through 70, mid 70s. And I talk about health. Primarily, that's my biggest topic. It's the one most people chime into. But I also talk about travel, because my wife and I have been thinking about and researching places in the world we'd like to live. And, who wouldn't want to live in France? In fact, between the British population and American population, there's almost 300,000 people living in France from those countries. And, a lot of them are finding affordable places to live, like in Burgundy. You got the biggest town of Macon, and you got there's another little town that's Cluny, I think. Anyway, beautiful region. And then also the southwest portion of the country, which I visited down in I think it was a Set or Lille Set. Anyway, it's a canal city on the water, but beautiful place. If you haven't been here before, or this is your first time, I'd love for you to consider subscribing to my channel. I talk about a whole plethora of stuff on my channel, and pretty much I do it during my walk. In fact, one of the commenters on this particular video asked me, Brian, why are you walking? And I find that walking is part of my health regimen. So if you check out my 30-day challenge, I talk to those about walking, push-ups, squats, eating right, staying away from sugar. Sugar's the devil. I did a whole series on sugar. But, so for all of my over 30 folks, welcome. And I hope you're out there making it happen. So let's talk about the comments and the feedback that I got on France, the good and the bad. So starting with the good, I make notes for those of you. I can't memorize everything. I can't memorize everything. I'd screw it all up. So everybody that's been watching my channel know when I sit down, that means I got notes. Normally I walk the whole time, but this is an important topic, especially to those who are living there. They had some really smart smart comments, and even, you know, they weren't afraid to give me the good and the bad. So I'm happy about that. So I want to start with the good. You know, they say when you make correction, you should give a couple positives to the negative, right? So that's what we're gonna do. So let's start with France feeling like a dream, and it does feel like a dream. You know, most beautiful cities. I mean, absolutely beautiful places. Paris, I mean, absolutely gorgeous. Paris, you know, the architecture is beautiful. What I remember, and Montpellier, which I visited Montpellier. So just beautiful places. They commented on how just beautiful it is, and, you know, drives through the countryside. I was in the south of France too, and it was gorgeous. The drive from Germany in through Paris was beautiful, and also up towards Cantigny, which is not far from Normandy. All beautiful areas. So the beauty and the architecture certainly is a draw. And then viewer stories about walking through Versailles and the southern coast. So the viewers talked about, you know, their visits to Versailles, their walks in the south of France. They loved it, and they just were overwhelmed with the beauty of it, and I concur. And then France does not have charm. It's hard to put into words. So yeah, France is very charming, and that's why a lot of people are drawn. I think Paris is like the #1 travel destination, and it is not a secret why. It's just, you know, the whole country's beautiful. So has anybody, by the way, comment, have you been to France? What are your thoughts? Did you go for the architecture? Did you go for the wine? What the food? What did you go for? I mean, that I'm curious about that. And then the other part is that, you know, those who are living there gave me a bit of a reality check. And so I feel like it's important to share this too. If you're considering to move there, you know, it's like I talk about, the grass is always greener, right? I mean, that's where anywhere you go, eventually you settle in and you have to deal with reality. So the dream gets you there, and then reality, can I stay there? You know, so like the Clash, should I stay or should I go now? So, but one comment was the rising costs, taxes, red tape, the bureaucracy. That was a big thing. So for those of you living in France, can you let me know if that's true or not? The bureaucracy, the taxes, the red tape. Also stories from cities like Paris. Dangerous. You know, it was, you know, they didn't feel safe in places. I mean, but I'll be honest, in Atlanta, I don't feel safe in places either. But, you know, I understand it was real to them. And one, she said, you know, I'm never going back. I mean, so one of the persons on Bitcoin, you know, I talk about Bitcoin and AI on this channel, and they said that comment about capital controls and taxes to expats. So it's certainly something to look into. If you're considering moving to France, you got to really look at that as well. So those are some of the comments I got on that. And then the other part was is France still you know, something you consider? Maybe the answer isn't no, but it isn't not yet. And so that was one of the comments I got. You know, I'm not saying no, but maybe not yet. And then also there was a debate on the healthcare. People were talking about it's great healthcare, but you know, you might want to purchase under the table healthcare, unless you become a citizen or stuff like that. And it is excellent healthcare, but it can be pricey. That's one of the comments that I got. Someone had commented living there back maybe 10 years ago, and another one said that, you know, look, things have changed, and here's the reality of it. So got to do our homework on that. Keep an open mind about everything. Sometimes the place that fits isn't what we thought, you know. So certainly if you're thinking about France, and a lot of what I'm understanding is there's a lot of British that would go there because it's close to Britain, and kind of like me going to Mexico. It's close to me, and there's a lot of diversity. It's cheaper, and so for some of them in England, going to France in certain areas is cheaper, and so that's a consideration. Yeah, would I retire in France? Drop your comments. Would you retire in France? Drop your comments. For me, I don't know. I mean, I definitely going to go back and visit. If I did retire in Eastern Europe, let's say, because of the cost of living, or let's say we found an area in France that was cheap, we could get a great deal on a house. So I'm finding that you can get really good deals on houses in the smaller areas. So, and it is a temperate climate. So, you know, it's not like it's freezing and super hot. So, you know, it is a temperate climate. So that's a consideration. If you're, you know, as you age, you want to be in a climate that's a little bit more, you know, not so extreme, right? Not so hot, not so cold. So that is a benefit. That is a benefit. And you get the seasons, and just walking around and living in the beautiful surroundings of the country and the architecture. I have fond memories of France. I'm not gonna lie, it was just beautiful in my mind. Now, I found the people in France to be very nice, you know, at least the ones that I ran into. So, you know, you got this people, they say, oh, they're rude, but maybe, you know, when I was in New York, there was people who were rude. So, you know, maybe it's just a big city, right? I mean, you go to any big city, Los Angeles or Atlanta, New York, I mean, people can be rude. And so, but I think when you get out into the country and, you know, to the smaller areas, people become more friendly. So, let's see. Anyway, back to the topic. So, what about you? Would you consider living in France? Would you consider maybe it as a retirement area, or do you have plans to go back and visit? For some of my folks living there, if you happen to on this channel and you're saying, hey, who's this weird American talking about where I live? I don't mind you blasting me. So I had one guy who was pretty firm with me, but you know what? I back and forth with him, and he's super nice. So, you know, it's just, I'm okay. I don't pretend to know everything on this channel. I just talk about what I like to talk about. It's kind of like a conversation starter. So if you found this helpful, or you enjoyed the walk and the scenery, it's beautiful today. The tide's out. So I live in the southeast part of America. So a lot of marsh here. It's beautiful, a lot of wildlife, birds and such like that. So we get dolphins here. We had some manatee spend out a couple days. We even had an alligator a couple weeks ago. It was pretty interesting. So, but anyway, if you like this video, and I consider hitting like, please. You can subscribe, hit notifications, and share it. You could even share it and say, hey, let's make fun of this goofy American. Right? That's fine. I'm okay with that. I love you guys. God bless you. You're the best. So for all of my members and, you know, part of the over 60 crew, God bless you. And for everybody, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May his face shine upon you and give you peace. I'm out. Goodbye.